So you want to take your Instagram stories to the next level. I'd say you're pretty right here. Welcome back, my name is Dominic, and today we're talking about the Instagram stories. And in the last couple of weeks, I kind of changed up the way that I do Instagram stories, kind of put a little bit more effort in it. And frankly, I didn't really expect any response to that. But you people kept sending me DMs, complimenting me about my videos. Thanks, guys. And basically asking me what kinds of effort goes into shooting these kinds of videos. Is it hard? How do I do it? Do I take my phone? What kind of camera do I use? How long does the edit take? And all that stuff. So I decided to make a little video about that. For everyone that doesn't know what I'm talking about, I'm gonna show you a little example. So basically what I do is record the whole story in advance, chop those bits and pieces down, edit them in my computer, and then upload them. At first I was kind of like, it's just too much effort, too much work goes into it, and all the limitations, 15-second bits, and the story all disappears within 24 hours. But here's the thing, I think those limitations make this whole thing really interesting. All of your thought patterns around video, composition, and storytelling, and all of that are just gonna be thrown away because all of a sudden the video is in vertical mode. And what used to be a really bad habit in the early days of smartphone, internet, you might know it as the vertical video syndrome. And don't get me wrong, I used to be one of those people that absolutely hated. I despise those people that uploaded those vertical videos on YouTube or MySpace. RIP MySpace, by the way, I really miss you. Why would anyone upload a video in vertical mode? What's the point even? But I guess things just change, and I believe actually that those vertical story videos on Instagram are gonna be the next big thing. Think of it as the YouTube 2.0, and you can quote me on that. In 1 or 2 years, this is gonna be a new big thing. So how are you actually creating these more compelling, higher quality Instagram stories? So what I do is I actually take my camera, my real world camera that I just can't show you right now because it's filming me, and flip it vertically. That's basically all I do. I have another one to show you. So just think of this as your video camera. It films in widescreen like we're all used to. But the way I do it is I just take it, flip it, and record my whole videos like that. And that way I can really make all the adjustments, all the composition. I just see what's on the screen beforehand. It's a lot easier to tell your story that way. Because at first I kind of tried it around a little bit with, just filming widescreen regularly and then trying to just crop it out and just crop this narrow strip in the story format. But a lot of times things just don't work out. It doesn't look as well prepared. It doesn't look as good. It just, sometimes it looks really off, and you lose a lot of information and a lot of quality that way. I mean, you can record in 4K and crop it down afterwards without losing any information, but you kind of need a really good and new computer to pull that off without you losing your mind, because it's so slow when you try to edit those 4K files. So then what I do is either I know what's happening beforehand, or I just take my camera along with me along the whole day and just shoot whatever I think is interesting. Just like vlog style or whatever style you might call it. Just, vertical, don't forget that. So the difficult part really is the whole storytelling, because everything kind of needs to be fast-paced or told in a really short amount of time. And that's what I said earlier about the limitations actually being really interesting, because whatever amazing stuff you film throughout the day, it all needs to be compressed down to 15 seconds to about 1 minute. So there's going to be a lot of things that you just can't use because it just doesn't fit the narrative of your story. I've had lots of cool stuff shot in vertical mode to appear in my story, but with all those limitations, sometimes it didn't fit the narrative, and I just had to abandon it. So think of all your stories and the whole new Instagram story vertical mode videos as this new kind of art form or media form, and I think that's what it really is. Now, with that being said, it doesn't mean that you should be a perfectionist and, you know, invest every little time and detail that you have on this story, because after all, the story is going to be gone in 24 hours anyway. But you should kind of stick to your middle ground, where you basically put out your minimum viable product that doesn't take too much away of your time and effort, but still with enough effort that you're, you know, satisfied with the result given the circumstances. And that's what I really love, because it's not only great to benefit your followers and your channel, but it also really sharpens your editing, storytelling, and filming skills. And, you know, if you're in the social media content creation game, that's pretty much the most important thing. So now we're gonna go straight into the computer, and I'm gonna show you some quick tricks to help you edit those stories faster and better. Right, so right now we're in Premiere Pro with all the files pretty much being vertical as of right now. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna open up a new sequence, a new custom sequence, and basically flip the resolution to 1080 by 1920. So it's 9 by 16 as opposed to 16 by 9, right? So hit OK, and you have this cool, crazy looking vertical video. Usually what I do is kind of sift through the video, see if there's any interesting stuff that I want to have in my project, and then just go ahead and drag all of those files in there. And the most important thing is keep existing settings, because otherwise, you know, your video won't be vertical. Let's just say you want that clip. Of course, it's vertical as of right now, as you can see here, but you're just gonna go ahead, select the clip, choose Effect Controls, and just hit the rotation to 90% or -90, because, you know, sometimes you hold it the other way. And you can see it's beautiful already. So now you can basically do whatever you would do with your story. You can set up a text, Vienna, change the font to some other cool font. But if, for example, you have this video that was shot in widescreen mode, you just kind of have to drag it to fit the screen. And this is the thing that I said earlier, you know, you can't really control the composition that way or that well with doing that. So I would just stick to shooting the videos in vertical mode. Right, so let's say you have all your video files arranged, you export them just like it is, name it, and just hit export. Right, so after you're done with exporting your video, you're just gonna go ahead, take your phone and drop it to your phone. I just use AirDrop in my example. And just take it over and just drop it on my phone, if it would let me. Hello, there you go. And now comes the special part, because actually stories on Instagram are only allowed to be 15 seconds long, and I have a very special app for that. So what I have here is this beautiful app called, I don't even know, Cut Story. So with this app, you can basically just, you know, cut your story to that specific file length that you need. In this example, we're just gonna take this video that we created earlier, you know, this story, hit save for Instagram, because we're gonna go for Instagram, and it's all completed. And of course, your video is being cut in the appropriate time of 15 seconds. Right, that's been it for this week. My name is Dominic, and please give me a like, hit that bell, follow me, and of course follow me on Instagram, and I'll see you next week. Bye bye.